We are moments away from the boys open division semifinal here at Torrey Pines High School. Welcome inside the Falcon Cage, everybody, as the Torrey Pines Falcons play host to the Sage Creek Bobcats in what is a promising, fun bout. Round three between these two teams in a non-elimination game. Sage Creek, the number 3 seed, Torrey Pines, the number 2 seed, and what better way to spend your Thursday afternoon than with us here on the Prep Insider CIF San Diego section stream, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Jonathan Rifkin on the call with you, 3 of 7 this week. This being the third, and what a phenomenal match we have for you here. Sage Creek 15-3, 5-3 out of the Palomar League. They defeated Torrey Pines in bout number 1, 3-0 in sets. They lost in 5 in the second matchup between these two teams. Torrey Pines 14-2 on the season, 7-1 in the North Coast Conference Coastal League. And we are ready to go. Sage Creek will start off in serve. They wear black dominant uniforms with gold numbers on the front, white SC across the chest. Torrey Pines in the all blacks with a yellow stripe down the side, and immediately flying in for the kill is Christian Connell, the freshman, number 93 on the season for the freshman. 1-0. Torrey Pines opens it up with an exclamation point. Libero wearing white for Torrey Pines. Mixed colors for Sage Creek. Back to serve is Truman Morley, the star. High initial tap, it saves, and just a free ball by Laird Porter sent over. Torrey Pines back in possession, the slide, the block on the kill attempt. Justin Yates coming in and stealing that on the kill by Christian Connell. It's 1-1. We will see a lot of elevation in today's match. Both these teams can soar. Last game, Sage Creek won 3 straight sets over Otay Ranch. Torrey Pines 3 straight over Westview. Back to serve. Laird Porter. Torrey Pines in possession. Kill attempt by Gavin Christie is sent back, and then a tip over by JC Hayward gives Sage Creek and the Bobcats a point. They're up 2-1 on a 2-0 spurt. I don't expect many free balls here. A lot of digs. An ample assist between two powerhouses, not only in San Diego, but really in the nation. Porter back to serve. Heavy touch turns it to an ace. Matthew Lim couldn't control it on the bump. And Porter getting ready for serve number 3 here of this try. 3-1, set number 1. Trying to advance here. Porter, too far, follows up the ace with an error. The last time Sage Creek played Torrey Pines, it was a 5-set loss. They committed 75 errors in that match. 75 errors in a 5-set match. Pretty incredible stuff. Head coach David Savage said earlier today that we just beat ourselves. And the fact we were in it in 5 sets is pretty unbelievable. Unloading a serve all the way well across the out-of-bounds line was Christian Connell, the freshman. Looked like the spring breeze picked that one up and carried it out of play. 4-2, Sage Creek gets one back. JC Hayward now to serve. Dug out by Ryder, the slide, and the kill is through by Matthew Lim. 268 now on the season, amongst the best in the section. Of course, Mile Henderson up at Del Norte in that realm as well. On the other side, Campbell Gerdeman for Sage Creek has 208, so both teams with county leaders in that category. Gavin Ryder, the senior libero, back to serve. A little backdoor tip by Justin Yates. Everybody on the defense for Torrey Pines was expecting a set. Instead, he just slid it on a dump over into no man's land. 5-3, Sage Creek leads. Back to serve is Yates. He finds the left corner for an ace. Nobody back there for the Falcons. 2 aces now for Sage Creek. Very high-octane teams as Yates unloads one into the middle. It's dug out and powered through. Trevor Peck, kill number 56 for Torrey Pines. Matthew Lim getting his second assist here of the match up front. Sub coming in, Truman Morley back up front. Joe DeJong will take a seat for Torrey Pines. Back to serve is Morley. And a good possession counter. Justin Yates sets up Ryan Gow, who strikes it through the blockers and down for a kill. 7-4, Sage Creek up here in set number 1. Striding back is Ian Sanchez, the junior, amongst team best in digs, 123. Torrey controls, put on the little pushover. A kill is due for Ryan Gow. Back-to-back blocking kills for Ryan Gow. Timeout, Torrey Pines. 8-4 here in set number 1. And the Bobcats absolutely came to play, hitting the nitrous button initially and taking it to the Falcons here in the early going in set number 1. Each and every broadcast is brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Mission Fed Credit Union is a proud partner of the CIF San Diego section. They're also San Diego's largest member-owned, non-for-profit, full-service financial institution, exclusively serving San Diego County. Banking at Mission Fed means doing good for San Diego by putting money back into the communities through supporting and helping hundreds of local nonprofit organizations. Thank you to Mission Fed for being a premier sponsor of each Prep Insider CIF San Diego section broadcast. All right, out of the timeout, it's 8-4. Sage Creek up over Torrey Pines. Sage Creek only had 3 losses on the season. They lost to Poway after beating the number 1 nationally ranked team, Poway Titans. They lost to Torrey Pines, and they lost to La Costa Canyon. Out of the timeout, Ian Sanchez gathers up an ace. Goes right off the body of Christian Connell. Connell couldn't collect. 9-4. Sage Creek mounting an early lead here in set number 1. Sanchez gonna float serve over. Is dug out here. The slide by Babcock and into the net on the kill attempt by Truman Morley. An error here for the Falcons. Gives a point to the Bobcats at 10-4. Sub coming in, Christian Connell will take a seat. Cole Chandler, the senior, will make an appearance, providing a little bit more experience than the freshman. Sanchez on the serve. It's dug out, controlled by Torrey Pines. A little free ball finds Yates. Backdoor, and the kill is down by Campbell Gerdeman, who leads the team. Give him 209 now on the season. And a 47% kill percentage, amongst the best with that sample size in the section. He also has 21 aces to lead the team and 131 digs. Gerdeman does it all for Sage Creek, including giving them an 11-4 lead. Yates on the serve. Morley able to get it off the body of Braden Ferroni, who just checked in as a libero here for Sage Creek. Went out of play off of him, so Torrey Pines, after giving up 5 straight points, able to finally get one back here. It's Lim back to serve. Dug out here by Ferroni. The slide, the kill goes into the block. Ball is still up, tipped over by Torrey. Maintained by Yates, and Sage Creek back over to Torrey Pines. Babcock sets it up. The kill is through by Morley, and Torrey Pines picks up the point on a really good rally. 11-6 now. The Falcons looking for a bit of a run. And that's what volleyball is. It's a game of runs and a game of inches. Lim, try number 2 here, into the net. Tried to unload that one, and it was just a scorcher, too much mustard. Sub coming in here. Jonah Kay. Ryan Gow will take a seat. Gow with 2 big blocks that turn into points for Sage Creek. Up 12-6. Back to serve. It's Kay, the senior. A little slide. Kill goes off the block. Christian Connell. But they're saying that the blockers were into the net for Sage Creek. 12-7 is our score. So an error here for Sage Creek. Give them number 2 now. 3 for Torrey Pines. Remember, Sage Creek had 75 the last time these two teams played. Boys back to serve. Yates on the corral, little backdoor pass, but the kill goes off the block and back down on the Bobcats side. Great job by Joe DeJong, the senior middle blocker, able to get a palm on that and bring it back down. 12-8. Torrey Pines bringing it, or cutting into the lead just a little bit here. Ryan Boys back to serve, finds Yates. High arcing attempt here by Gerdeman is returned, and the return by Torrey Pines goes off the knee of Sanchez and down. It's a 3-0 Torrey Pines run. They trail by 3, 12-9. Ryan Boys, the sophomore, back to serve, his 4th in a row. Float serve into the middle. Played well by Sage Creek. Kill attempt by Hayward is dug up. A slide there for Connell. Back over to the Bobcats. The 8 goes far side to Porter, who drills it down to the hardwood for a kill. 13-9, a little back and forth affair. Sage Creek ultimately came away with the point, though. Campbell Gerdeman back to serve. The senior, 209 kills on the season. 21 aces, 131 digs all lead the team. Ryder digs out his serve. A slide over on the kill for Morley is dug out. Truman now, or Yates, excuse me, sets one up. And Hayward comes flying in for the spike and the point. 14-9 now. Gerdeman trying to regain what was a 6-point lead. Into the block goes to Zhang. Ball comes back down. Yates and Hayward were in the area for Sage Creek. And the 6-point lead matching the largest now of the day here in set number 1. Campbell Gerdeman. His serve dug out by Ryer. Slide to the left. Kill is through. An easy 1-2 punch there. Truman Morley set up on the right sideline, utilizing the space towards the left outline. Kept it in. 15-10. Back goes Morley to serve. High jump serve. A lot of mustard on that, but it falls to Sanchez, who digs it out. Set by Yates. The kill is through by Sanchez. 16-10. So the Falcons got one back, but were unable to mount a run after it. And just like that, the Bobcats back to serve. It's Laird Porter, jump serve. Into the back, DeJean digs it, gets this little give and go, and Matthew Lim too far on the spike. Gives an error. Number 4 now to Torrey Pines. 17-10, timeout. Falcons, their second here in set number 1. And during this timeout, we get an opportunity to thank Scorebook Live, the official digital content partner of the CIF and your destination for following all of your favorite teams and players. Head to scorebooklive.com for scores, live play-by-play, and more. Well, postseason volleyball is in full swing, though this is the only volleyball match we will cover this week. The rest is filled with soccer. But what better way to spend an afternoon here on the hardwood than with two of the best that the section has to offer. And both these teams took Poway to 5 sets. It's actually pretty unbelievable, because Torrey Pines lost to Poway in 5 sets. Sage Creek beat Poway 3-1 and Torrey Pines 3-0. So Sage Creek, who's the 3 seed behind Poway and Torrey Pines, is the only team in the section to own wins against both schools. Pretty unbelievable. They have possession. It's Yates on the far side, a slide to Petty. Petty's kill attempt is dug out, and then off the block and out of play goes Connell. Went off the left arm of Yates, so that's a Torrey Pines point. 17-11. Lead is matriculated. It's really been consistent between 4 and 6 for much of this opening set. Back to serve is Christian Connell, the freshman with a heavy strike. Dug out here, back played by Yates. Kill attempt, finds the back line and down for Ian Sanchez. Give him another. Man, this team is versatile. Ryan Gow coming back in. He had 2 early big blocks that led to points for the Bobcats. Back to serve now, J.C. Hayward. High jump serve. Going for that back left line. Too much mustard. And a service error. Error number 4 here for Sage Creek. Gives a point to Torrey Pines. 18-12. Torrey is yet to mount a run here through the last 6 points, it's just been back and forth. You can't afford to switch points here, or trade points. You really have to mount a little lead. Yates goes for a free ball, dug out by Ryder on the backdoor slide. Attempt by Lim is dug out here for the Bobcats. Now a slide, and a kill is through by Ian Sanchez. Goes off the block, down the left sideline. And like I said, Torrey Pines doing a great job contending. Unfortunately, though, they're not finishing, and that's where the Bobcats have mounted their points. Yates on the serve. It's set up for Lim. Played here and well by Yates on the far set. Sanchez goes back corner. It's too far. Error number 5 for Sage Creek, matching Torrey Pines. 19-13, 6-point lead. It's been staggered between 6 and 7 through much of this opening set. Lucky Babcock back to serve, dug out here, set by Yates. And Gow has a clean look off the block, and it goes out of play for a Bobcat point. And once again, a 7-point lead. It hasn't gone beyond 7, but we haven't seen anything fewer than 4 since the 11th point. Back to serve, Sanchez. Dug out by Ryder. Backdoor set by Babcock. The kill is through by Matthew Lynn, and that is fundamental volleyball. The libero digs it out. Your setter sets it, and your leading striker gets you the kill. Well executed by Torrey Pines. Matthew Lim, the senior, back to serve. It's a float serve in the middle. Dug out, Yates out front. Gow just downs it straight to the hardwood for a kill. Finesse is also a factor when it comes to volleyball. Torrey Pines plays with power. Sage Creek plays with finesse, and right now finesse is winning. Gow, after gathering the point, will take a seat. That'll bring up Jonah Cave, the senior, back to serve. 21-14, 7-point lead, matching the largest here for Sage Creek. Float serve, right sideline is guided by Babcock, and then a powerful strike. Tipped off the middle block, it went all the way to the back wall, and I believe that's a Torrey Pines point. Sage Creek can't believe it. 21-15, Falcons up by 6 here in set number 1. It's Ryan Boyes back to serve the sophomore, and he picks up a kill. Jonah Cade tried to spring load the dig, but it went off of his left knuckle and a knuckleballed out of play. Sage Creek error number 6, 21-16. Boyes with a float serve down the left sideline. Yates with the control and the left-handed pushover by J.C. Hayward. The dynamic outside hitter getting kill number 88 of the season. 22-16. Bobcats back up by 6. Ingerdeman ready to go. The high-flying senior just with a simple serve, dug out by Ryder in the middle. Babcock control, sets it up, and a float is down by Christian Connell up over the block. This guy is a freshman. Up to this game, folks, he had 92 kills, 27 aces. And he has 4 kills here today in the biggest game of the season so far. 22-17. Back to service, Morley unloads it, but it's dug out, set by Yates. And a non-contact as the Torrey Pines Falcon goes down here. All right, so both teams are going to congregate as we take a look at the injured player. We'll step aside for a break. 22-17, set number 1. Sage Creek over Torrey Pines, back in 30 seconds during the injury timeout. Hear the round of applause for Joe DeJong, the senior, who has been so valuable for Torrey Pines, as he limps off the field with the help of his head coach, Nick Rabacki, and the lead trainer here at Torrey Pines. We sure hope he's okay. And we will get a lineup check now as the rotations get out of hand. Laird Porter will serve for Sage Creek when we return to action. The Falcons bench trying to get the fans ready to go. We get some fans with banners out there trying to cheer on their team. Christian Connell's family making their presence felt more so than anybody. All right, so everything's sorted out at the scorer's table. DeJong is at the sideline being looked at the trainer. We sure hope he's okay. 23-17 is our score here in set number 1. Bobcats lead the Falcons. The Falcons have not led today. Sage Creek went up 2-0. Torrey Pines tied at 2-2, and since then it has been all Bobcats here in set number 1. They'll have possession. Back to serve Laird Porter. And he's into the net. Gravity is definitely a thing, folks. And you have to work with it, not against it. Gravity got the best of Laird Porter. Give it error number 7 now for Sage Creek. 23-18, 5-point game. The lead has been fluctuating between 4 and 7 here for much of set number 1 for Sage Creek. And the response by Christian Connell for the Falcons is a service error into the net. And actually, we're going to have I believe a substitution error on the Bobcats. So now they're sorting it out. So they lose a point. It's a reserve here for Connell. Basically acts as a technical foul. Like, you get the free throw, you get the point, you get the ball back. So that's what happens here. So Connell gets another one. The freshman, a star for Torrey Pines. Get used to his name. You'll be hearing a lot of it over the next 4 years. But he jumps over the line on the serve for an error. And just like that, Torrey Pines doing what they've done all set 1 long, getting an error, getting the ball back, and giving it right back. Set point here, 24-19 for Sage Creek. Back to serve. Hayward just tips over the net. Controlled here by Torrey Pines. Just a pushover by Lim is countered by the Bobcats. Back to Torrey Pines. Lim goes off the block. It's saved by the Bobcats. Pushover by Gow is dug out by Ryder. Falcons looking for Lim. He goes off the block, out of play, and the kill is finally through. 24-20, and that is how you survive if you are Torrey Pines, to get the ball back and live for another point here in set number 1. Force the issue. Bobcats have great continuity, but continuity can only last so long if power takes over. Ryder back to serve. It's a float controlled by Gerdeman. On the high pushover, Porter looking to Sanchez. The kill is through. And the Bobcats take set number 1, 25-20. They only trailed 3-2. That was the only time they trailed in set number 1. And they went to, far more than toe-to-toe. They went up by 7. It fluctuated between 4 and 7. And it really was Laird Porter, Justin Yates with his sets, and Ryan Gow with his middle blocking that made up the big runs for the Bobcats there in set number 1. Torrey Pines, though, they saw some great play by libero Gavin Ryder, just sacrificing his body on the hardwood to save some really tough kill opportunities for Sage Creek and give Torrey Pines another opportunity at possession. Gavin Christie was all over the place, of course, Christian Connell. So both these teams, there's a reason that both these teams are top 10 teams in the nation and top 3 teams here in the section. And that's only because Poway is the number 1 ranked team in the nation. So much dynamic play from both sides, but Sage Creek with their finesse able to outlast Torrey Pines, who possesses all the power in set number 1. We're going to step aside for a quick minute timeout. Headed for set number 2. You're listening to the Prep Insiders CIF San Diego section. Boys volleyball open division semifinal. Sage Creek taking on Torrey Pines. Back for more from Torrey Pines in a minute. Moments away from set number 2, getting ready for action here at Torrey Pines. Welcome back, everybody. CIF Prep Insider San Diego section boys volleyball open division semifinals brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. We're in our third day of postseason action here on the stream. Tomorrow we'll have the open division soccer championships from Mission Bay High School. The boys play at 4:30, the girls at 7:30. And then on Saturday we have the Division II championships at Eastlake High School at 4:30 and 7:30. But we still have a phenomenal match to wrap up here. Set number 2, Sage Creek took set number 1, 25-20, against the team that they split the regular season series with. And so Torrey Pines will look to play catch-up now here in set number 2. Sage Creek wearing their black and multicolored Bobcat uniforms. Gold letters on the front, outlined by white. Gold numbers on the back with the Sage Creek emblem up above. Torrey Pines, and they're all black with a yellow stripe down the sides. Cardinal red all on the front, outlined by yellow with the Torrey Pines emblem up on the left chest. Red numbers on the back. All right, ready to go, Torrey Pines. We'll start off with Servant Truman Morley, the senior. Leads the team with 24 aces. Slices one across, but it's dug out by Ferroni. A whistle's blown on the set, and they're claiming 2 touches by Laird Porter. An error here will give Torrey Pines the opening point here in set number 2. Morley back to serve again. High jump serve, good top spin, but it sails well past the end line. And this was Torrey Pines' MO back in set number 1. We get an error, but we give it right back. 1-1 here. Gerdeman back to serve. Nice float serve. Goes to Ryder in the back corner. Backdoor slide. Kill attempt off the block is maintained by the Bobcats. Yates, front door, kill, down. Laird Porter picking it up. Number 5 for him here in the match. And Sage Creek, a little 2-0 run here, gives them the opening lead. Their opening lead of set number 2. 2-1. Float serve by Gerdeman. Finds the left line. Not sure what Gavin Ryder, the senior libero, was doing right there as he watches it fall to his feet for an ace. 22 aces now on the season for Campbell Gerdeman, leads the team. 3-1, 3 straight here for Sage Creek. Gerdeman ready to go. Knuckleball float serve, dug out by Ryder. Front door looking for Lim, whose kill attempt is dug out. And then the set by Yates, the kill by Porter goes down off the block for a Bobcats point. 4-1. The momentum staying with Sage Creek here to open set number 2 after winning set number 1 for 25-20. Gerdeman's serve is dug out by Ryder. And then the kill attempt by Matthew Lim goes off the block and out of play. So Sage Creek gives a point here to Torrey Pines. 4-2, Falcons pick up a point. Christian Connell ready to serve. Top spin. Dug out by Ferroni. Set up to Hayward. Wide right, though, on the spike. And that brings it to 4-3 here for the Falcons. Connell now ready to go. Float serve. Ferroni's there. Little bump up to Yates. Front door set. Tap over. Goes into the block. It maintained by the Bobcats. Free ball here from Sanchez to Torrey Pines. On the initial touch, it's Morley. The set up front. Lucas Cater, who just checked in, tried to kill, went off the block. Another free ball back to Torrey Pines. Front door slide to Morley. Lim's kill is dug out. Pushed over by Yates, back to the Falcons. Ryder goes high. Lim with the kill. Dug out by Ferroni, and a whistle is blown. It's Torrey Pines' point. Oh, I need to catch my breath after that one. 4-4. 3 straight here for Torrey Pines knots us up. Oh, man. What a rally. Christian Connell ready to go. Float serve. Ferroni. Front door to Yates. Little slide, though. The kill into the net by Laird Porter. And Torrey Pines on a 4-0 run takes a 5-4 lead here in set number 2. Connell, who has been magic here in set number 2 as a server. The freshman with the knuckleball over. Yates goes to Hayward into the block. Back over. Sanchez tied to maintain. Free ball. Lim. Push over off the block. The dive, but it's out of play. What a valiant effort by Campbell Gerdeman. Well, he punched it. Torrey Pines with a point. They lead 6-4 here in set number 2. This is high-intensity volleyball if I've ever seen it. Connell ready to go. His team up 6-4. On the bump goes Sanchez. Yates, front door, slide by Jake Sanchez to Sanchez. Jake Sanchez gets it back on the free ball. Goes too hard on the kill attempt. And it's 7-4 Torrey Pines. Jake Sanchez, the senior, will take a seat. Brother of Ian Sanchez, the junior. Connell back to serve. Number 6 here. Yates with the backdoor. Nobody was there. Nobody was there. They answer the backdoor set. It went right in between Gerdeman and Hayward. 8-4. It's a 7-0 Torrey Pines run. A timeout, Sage Creek. What a run by the Falcons to just neutralize the Bobcats. And this is the MO because, look, volleyball is a serve-by-serve sport, right? The pace of play changes. Momentum doesn't. Momentum does not change in this sport. And finesse versus power is very interesting. Sage Creek has all the finesse. They're going to be able to play free balls. They get the sets they want. Sometimes the slides aren't there. Torrey Pines is all about the power, man. They're trying to just rip it through you every single time. And right now, that strategy is working because I think Sage Creek has to play more defensively. When the power plays here for Torrey Pines start working more consistently, it forces Sage Creek to reapproach their strategy. And we'll see here out of the timeout what they do. 8-4, 7-0 run for Torrey Pines in set number 2. They trail 1-0 here in the match. Float serve for Connell out of timeout. Yates front door. Porter is there and the kill is down. Gavin Ryder tried to dive a little belly slide like a penguin to it, but couldn't catch up to it. And after a 7-0 run, Sage Creek finally gets one back. That brings the lead here to 3 for the Falcons. It's 8-4 and Laird Porter, rather 8-5. Laird Porter back to serve. A lot of top spin as he unloads on the jump serve. Ryder's there, digging it out. Front door, Morley, and a high kill by Lim. Coming and soaring through. Matthew Lim. A beast. 271 kills now on the season. Give him 4 on the game. 9-5, Torrey Pines with the lead and the serve. Cole Chandler, the senior. Pretty hard. Its dugout goes off the ceiling. Yates gets under with a high set. And the kill is through. It finds the back line. Ian Sanchez with an ambitious but rewarding kill. It was not an easy ball to unload from as it went across the hardwood, but somehow Sanchez finds the inbounds line. J.C. Hayward now. Dug out by Lim. The front door slide and the kill by Lucas Cater, his first here of the match. And how about that, the junior in limited opportunity, picking up kill number 27 on the season in big minutes in the postseason. 10-6. Torrey Pines. I guess there's no minutes in volleyball. I guess it's just possessions, right? Big possessions. Torrey Pines leads 10-6, back in possession. Lucky Babcock with the float serve. Bobcats maintain. Yates a high set. Laird Porter comes smashing through with it, going off the hands of Connell and out of play for a kill. 10-7, Bobcats now trading points with the Falcons. It's a way to stay in it, but it's not sufficient. Game of runs is what volleyball is made of. Justin Yates, the senior, has been phenomenal up front here today with a serve. Good topspin. Dug out by Connell. The set to Lim, who goes off the block, back down to Torrey Pines, but it goes out of play. And that's a Falcons point. 11-7 now. Here comes Matthew Lim again. Float serve. The bump to Yates. Nice set, and Dow powers it down. Once again, here we go trading points. It's 8-11. Ian Sanchez, high topspin. Too much mustard on the serve. It goes wide right out of play. Torrey Pines back up by 4. Torrey Pines in their last game. How about this? Every open division opening round match was a sweep. Every single one. And every single higher seeded team won. How about that? Yates off the serve, sets it. The kill attempt by Gerdeman goes off the block, maintained by the Falcons. Lim goes straight off the block. They dig it out, and then a side spike goes out of play by the Falcons. Point Bobcats. It was Truman Morley on the right block, aiming for the left sideline, and just pushed it out of play. 12-9 over the last 6 points. It's gone 3 to Sage Creek, 3 to Torrey Pines, and it's been staggered. So we are really going back and forth here in set number 2. Set number 1 belonging to Sage Creek. They're looking to get back in it here. Jonah Kay came in, back to serve for the senior. High spin on the toss-up. Ryder is there on the attempt. And then a mistake by Truman Morley. He wanted to finesse it back door over the net, trying to keep Sage Creek off balance. Instead, though, he finds nothing but the net for an error. 2 straight Sage Creek points now. They trail 12-10 here in set number 2. Here comes Kay. Into the middle. Bump by Lim. Push over. Is down by Connell. Sliding in was Laird Porter, but he couldn't get to it in time. Torrey Pines gets one back there, up 13-10. Morley back to serve. Lucky Babcock will take a seat. Truman Morley, the senior. Very high on the look, and he picks up an ace. That ball was well out of play, but that ball was hit so fast that Jonah Kay, who's very quick in his own right, couldn't move out of the way. It grazes off his shoulder and goes out of play off of Sage Creek for a Torrey Pines ace. 14-10. Morley once again. Nice jump serve. Maintained here by Sanchez. Front by Yates. Porter with the spike goes off the block. And is there an error here by J.C. Hayward? There was. He went into the net. Off the block, the ball came back to the Bobcats, and Hayward was able to push it back down, but he was into the net. So that's an error. 15-10. Torrey Pines with the serve in the lead. Nice heavy serve by Morley off of Porter. 2 touches. And another Sage Creek error amounts to another Torrey Pines point. This was the problem the last time these two teams matched up. Sage Creek had 75 errors in those 5 sets. Ended up dropping 3 sets to 2. And here in set number 2, just giving 3 points. Yates off the serve. Able to find Gerdeman, who goes off a free ball now on the overpass by Ferroni. Backdoor. Cotter comes in for Torrey Pines. His kill attempt, though, is dug out. He gets it back on the back set. Now a high slide, and the kill by Connell goes off the block and out for a Falcons point. 17-10. 1 timeout for Sage Creek. Will Coach Savage use it here? And he will. Timeout, Bobcats. 17-10. Torrey Pines leads by 7. They went on a 7-0 run after trailing 3-1 in this set to open it up. And they have just been trading points with the Bobcats since. They lost set number 1, 25-20. But an open division team who has already split the regular season with Sage Creek isn't going to go down without swinging. And it creates a whole new match if we go into set number 3, tied 1-1. Each and every broadcast, we want to remind you to download the CIF Sport 365 mobile app for Apple and Android to connect with all your favorite teams with access to schedules, roster scores, statistics, and more. Never miss a moment with the CIF Sports 365 app. A wonderful way to listen to all of our broadcasts if you so choose. You can't. It's just another way to access it. All right, ready to go out of the timeout. 70-10, Torrey Pines leads here in set number 2. Truman Morley back to serve. High jump serve into the net. And after 4 straight points for Torrey Pines, the timeout ices him like you would a kicker who goes off the goalpost after his field goal attempt is iced. 17-11. Float serve for Girdman. Dug out by Ryder. Front set by Morley. Forces a tip over Bobcats' control. Yates, front door slide. Laird Porter's kill attempt is dug out, though, by Lim. Back to the Bobcats. Another try for Porter. This one's down, but it goes out of play. And it's a Falcons point. Porter on that left block has had plenty of opportunities, but he aimed for the smallest amount of floor spacing that he had down that left line and just couldn't keep it in bounds. 18-11, float serve Yates. Back to Porter. This time, too hard. No, it's tipped off the block and out of play. So 18-12, it just floated off the end of the finger of Lucas Cater. And the 6-point Falcon lead now. Back to serve is Laird Porter. Senior leader on this team. It's been phenomenal. Heavy float serve dug out by Ryder. Lim looking for the kill. Goes off the block. Back to the Torrey Pines side. Ryder goes front door. Too many touches on the double touch. And that's an error that gives Bobcats a point. 18-13 here in set number 2. Torrey Pines leads. They trail 1 set to nothing. Laird Porter striding back. Possesses so much skill. Multi-dimensional player here for the Bobcats. Top spin. Maintained here by the Falcons. Front door to Lim. And nobody home as he just strikes it to no man's land for a kill. Cole Chandler will make an appearance here, giving Truman Morley a break for Torrey Pines. 19-13, the Falcons lead here. Chandler, a senior, looking for his second serving opportunity of the afternoon. High top spin. Dug out by Porter. Set by Yates. Hayward goes off the block. It's back down on the Bobcat side, and the Falcons pick up a point. Good job by the tandem of Arsa Agalu, who just checked in. Teaming up with Cole Chandler up front. Also in the area with Matthew Lim. Chandler to serve. Maintained by the Bobcats on a free ball back over. Lim takes a set off the block. It's back down, but into the net went J.C. Hayward, and it's another Falcon point off an error. Truman Morley was the one who forced the issue for the Falcons. 21-13. Chandler ready for try number 3 here. Jump serve, good top spin. Controlled by Gerdeman. Front door by Yates. Kill attempt is dug out by Ryder. Back door. Cotter looking for the kill, can't get it. Maintained by the Bobcats. Back off the block. J.C. Hayward gets the kill for the Bobcat point. And the Bobcats trying to claw their way back here in set number 2, trailing 21-14. J.C. Hayward back to serve. Heavy serve. Dug out in the middle by Connell. Backdoor by Ryder to Cater, but he's into the net on the attempt. And Sage Creek able to pick up the point. 6-point lead now for Torrey Pines. It's fluctuated between 5 and 7 here in set number 2. Feels exactly like what happened in set number 1, except the teams that flipped. Sage Creek was in the situation that Torrey Pines is back in set number 1. Hayward with a nice serve, dug out by Ryder. Front door, and out of nowhere comes Lim again. You could feel the heat on that one here on the sideline. 22-16. Great set by Truman Morley, by the way. This guy, Matthew Lim, is something else. He's truly something else. Lucky Babcock, float serve. Controlled by Porter. Front door by Yates. Kill is through by Sanchez. 22-16. And Yates getting ready to serve here for the Bobcats. Need to string together a couple to stay in it here in set number 2. Little float serve. Ryder is there. Connell. Lim into the block and down for a kill. I could watch Matthew Lim for the rest of my life. I was going to say all day long. That's not long enough. Pure athleticism, pure talent. He's back to serve, up 23-16. Too much under that one, though, and he's tallied with an error on the serve, 23-17. As Sanchez, the junior, ready to serve here for the Bobcats. Ryder in the middle gets it. Connell with the front door set. The slide, though, goes off of Laird's hand and out of play for a Torrey Pines point, 24-17. Set point, rather, for the Falcons. They trail 1-0. This would tie things up here. Ryder with a float. Maintained by the Bobcats. Yates with a nice set to Porter off the block and down, and the Falcons, no! They're saying it was a fault by Torrey Pines, and that's Bobcats' point. So 24-18. As we get the scoreboard figured out. There we go. 24-18 our score here in set number 2. Back to serve now, Jonah Kay. Top spin, dug out by Ryder on the right side. Front set by Conley. And Connell goes into the block, but the ball goes down out of play, and Torrey Pines takes set number 2. 25-18. The Falcons respond to a 25-20 set 1 loss with a set 2 victory. All right, so we know we're at least going 4 here, folks. Are we going 5? Well, we will find out. Well, I guess we won't find out because one of these teams is going to be up 2-1. I love volleyball, open division volleyball, any volleyball, but this talent level, I mean, it is just something else here, what we're seeing between Torrey Pines and Sage Creek. All right, we're going to step aside for a 2-minute break. Set number 3 coming your way next. It's 1-1. Bobcats took set number 1, 25-20. Falcons took set number 2, 25-18. You're listening to the Prep Insider CIF San Diego Section Boys Volleyball Open Division Semifinals, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Back in 2 minutes for set number 3. All right, ready to go here. Set number 3. Welcome back to Torrey Pines. Jonathan Rifkin on the call for you for our CIF Prep Insider Boys Volleyball Open Division broadcasts. Broadcast number 3 of 7 this week. We will have 4 more. 2 more soccer matchups tomorrow. Open Division Championship from Mission Bay, and on Saturday, Division 2 soccer championships from East Lake. You can catch each one of those broadcasts here on the Prep Insider stream. All right, 1-1. We are knotted up. It is a brand new match between 2 powerhouses here in the North County. Sage Creek, the 3 seed, taking on Torrey Pines, the 2 seed here. An intra-conference battle for a spot to move forward in the Open Division. Remember, double elimination, so loser will play the loser of Cathedral Catholic Carlsbad, or the winner, of Cathedral Catholic Carlsbad tonight. That matchup will be played 7 o'clock. Getting all the lineup sorted out, and we are ready to go. Zeros up on the board. 1-1 is our set score. And a team that split the regular season 1 apiece. Torrey Pines was swept in 3 sets the first time and won in 5 sets the second time. Gerdeman with the initial serve here is maintained by Ryder, tipped over, but an error on the control gives point number 1 here to the Bobcats. So they got the first point in set number 1 here, and set number 3. Off the serve, a set, and a kill is through. Morley with the set. And Trevor Peck getting his second kill. He actually had the second point of the match, and we haven't seen him since. 1-1, back to serve is Truman Morley. Jump serve goes into the middle. Braden Ferroni digs it out to Yates on the back door. And a Torrey Pines error after J.C. Hayward was able to put it down with a kill will give them the point regardless. So Sage Creek up 2-1. And this is exactly the same start that we've seen the first 2 sets. Sage Creek opened up on a 1-0 start. Up 2-1 here, and then the last time Torrey Pines got it. Little backdoor for Christian Connell goes off the block and out, so it's a Torrey Pines point. Yates was in the area, so was Laird. Porter, but neither could maintain control. 2-2 is where we stand now. Jake Sanchez, the senior, will come in. J.C. Hayward will take a seat. Back to service, Christian Connell, the phenomenal freshman. And a name that you should remember for at least the next 3 years around these parts. Float serve in the middle. Ferroni's there. Back front door for Yates is set up. Sanchez's kill is dug out by Ryder. Set up to Lim, who goes off the block. It's out of play, and a kill is allowed, or awarded to Lim. And Torrey Pines gets the point. 3-2. They're on a 2-0 run here in set number 3. Connell again. Ferroni to Yates on the slide. Sanchez goes off the block. Ryder able to keep it in play. What a free ball over. What a play by Torrey Pines. Yates maintains. Sanchez downs it, and the Bobcats get the point. I love this sport because you may not get rewarded for making a spectacular play. Ryder laid out, slid 4 feet, and just punched the ball up after a bad block. Kept Torrey Pines alive, but unfortunately, Sage Creek was the ones who walked away with the point. It is so hard to get rewarded for tough play in this sport. Back to service Hayward, and he picks up an ace. No, it's dug out off the net, and a free ball goes over by Lim. Yates on the front door set. Sanchez goes into the block, but it's down, and Sage Creek picks up another point. They're on the 2-0 run now, 4-3. Game of runs is what we've seen through all 3 sets now. Set number 1 was a 25-20 win for Sage Creek. Set number 2 was a 25-18 win for Torrey Pines. Hayward with a nice jump serve. Returned by Ryder. Yates sets one up for Sanchez. Goes off the block. Ryder float serves it. Yates goes off the net, but it's saved here by Gerdeman. Backdoor look to Cater, and he's able to down it off the hardwood for a kill. What a crazy series. Both coaches thought there were going to be calls on their sides. But David Savage and Nick Hrubaki were told to play on, coaches. We had another crazy rally between two fantastic sides. Cole Chandler comes in and back to serve now for Torrey Pines, the specialist. High jump serve. Porter is there to Yates, looking for Sanchez. Ryder digs it out on the heavy look. Gow able to put it down, but Sanchez again with the dig. Lim now able to get the kill. Oh me, oh my. 5-4. Torrey Pines on a 2-0. It's been 2-0 runs to open up here, set number 3 on both ends. And Cole Chandler ready to go again. High jump serve. Goes off the fingertips of Ferroni. He couldn't control it, and the libero with just a detrimental mistake on that one. 6-4, Torrey gets the ace by Cole Chandler. Chandler will take it however he can get it. He doesn't care if he enforces it or if it's just a self-error by the libero. Jump serve. Porter with a high dig. Nice little tap from Yates. Finds Sanchez, and he's able to strike it in play. No man's land for the Bobcats point. 6-5. Bobcats able to get one back after giving up 3 straight to Torrey Pines. Justin Yates, senior, who has been setting them up for Porter and Sanchez all afternoon with a float serve. Ryder digs it out to Connell. Free ball by Aga is set to Yates. Finds Sanchez. Hits the back line. It's called in, and that's 2 straight here for the Bobcats to tie us up in set number 3. 6-6 is our score. 6-6 score, set number 3, 1-1 score on the match. Both teams have stolen a set. Yates with a float serve. Under it is Connell. Front door look by Lim. It's dug out. A fight above the net between the two blockers, and they're going to say it's Sage Creek who touched it. It was Gow who got tied up with Ryan Boys up above the net for possession, but Gow just skimmed the white tape, and that's a blocking error. 7-6. Torrey Pines gets the point and the serve. Lucky Babcock back in. Float serve. Ferroni with a push forward. Yates with a high set. And throwing it down is Campbell Gerdeman. League leader in kills, or team leader, I should say, in kills. Knocks us up at 7. Ian Sanchez finds Ryder, who digs it up. Free ball here. Finds Ferroni with a high bump, and an ambitious kill attempt by Gerdeman goes way too long for the Torrey Pines point. 8-7, now Falcons lead. They won 25-18 in set number 2. Set number 1 was taken by the Bobcats, 25-20. Float serve, dug up by Ferroni. Front door set by Yates. Finds Laird Porter, who's able to get it off the block and down for a kill. So back and forth we go. Jonah Kay now, ready to go. Jump serve into the net. And forces an error. 9-8 now back. Goes Gavin Ryder. The libero today playing really well, especially off the serves. And he picks up an ace. Jonah Kay swinging and missing on this set. All he can do is smile, but his coach ain't smiling. 10-8 after the ace here by Ryder on the mistake, and quickly Kay will be pulled. The libero, Braden Ferroni, will come back in. Ryder, float serve. Ferroni on the dig out, finds Yates, looking for his favorite target, Porter, who punches it over. Off the block, but the block goes wide of the antenna for an error. Sage Creek point. 10-9. They get one back here. Neither team is led by more than 2 here in set number 3. Nice serve by Gerdeman. Finds Ryder. Morley sets one up for Lim, who gets the kill after Gerdeman can't get a handle on the dig. 11-9, Torrey Pines leads. Truman Morley ready to go. High jump serve. Dug out by Gerdeman. Set up to Yates for Porter, and he keeps it in. Going cross court from the left block to the right baseline. Nobody was around. Line official said it was down. 11-10. Bobcats get one back. They trail by one here in set number 3 as Torrey, who just picked up that kill, ready to go on the right out of bounds line. Too much mustard. He's into the net. 12-10. Christian Connell back to serve, the freshman. His family in the stands holding up signs to show their support. So dynamic. Float serve. Finds Porter on the back line. Up to Yates. Looking for Sanchez, whose kill is off the block and down for a kill. 12-11. The Bobcats continuing to trade points. But trading points when you're trailing doesn't do much but push the set further and further. J.C. Hayward back to serve. Team trailing by 1. Nice jump serve. Finds Ryder at the back line. High dig is set up to Connell. Push over is blocked back. Lim with the tip. Girdman lays out. Gets it back over on the free ball. Looking for the front door is Morley. And Lim spikes it out. 12-12 on the Bobcat point. J.C. Hayward ready to go again. Nice serve, a lot of topspin. Connell under it. The set here to Peck into the block. Free ball tapped over. Yates with a look off the block. Kept in play by Ryder. Looking for Lim. Elevates one out of play. And Sage Creek finally takes the lead here. Since 6-5, it's 13-12 in set number 3. J.C. Hayward ready to go. Gotten 3 straight for his team. And gives one back to Torrey Pines. Just punched one over the end line out of play and knocks us up at 13 apiece. And that'll bring in Cole Chandler, the serving specialist here, who went on a 4-point streak. We saw him earlier in this set to not only bring Torrey Pines to the lead, but give them the lead up until that 13-12 Bobcats lead as of late. Porter able to get a handle. The set by Yates, and Gow comes flying in and slices it through for a kill. 14-13 Bobcats get one back, and Sage Creek trying to maintain this lead now. Justin Yates back to serve. Float serve. Taken by Connell. Set up to Lynn, who goes off the block. Ferroni hits it on the dig to the net. Gow couldn't control it off the net. And that will be a limb kill and a Torrey Pines point. Knotted up at 14 here in set number 3. Set number 1 was taken by the Bobcats 25-20. The Falcons won set number 2, 25-18. Back to serve is Lucky Babcock. Float serve for Babcock. Maintained here by Sanchez. Yates to Gow, and the kill is through. Torrey Pines not playing back on the line. Everybody stepping forward to apply pressure on the net. And Sage Creek takes advantage of the space. 15-14 for the Bobcats. Ian Sanchez, nice little serve. Not exactly sure what Christian Connell and Gavin Ryder were doing as they watched it fall in between them. And that's an ace and a defensive miscommunication by the Falcons. 16-14, 2-point lead for Sage Creek. Sanchez with a nice jump serve. Maintained by by Connell. Set up to Lim, but he's off the block. But it goes out of play for a Torrey Pines point. They get one back after giving up 2 straight, 16-15. Back to serve goes the superstar, Lim. Matthew Lim. His serve is a punch over by Porter. He lays out to save it. And a secondary layout by Morley keeps it alive. The free ball is over. The set by Yates and the kill by Gow. Again, Torrey Pines working hard to keep the rally alive, but they can't be rewarded. That's the second time we have seen valiant efforts by the Falcons to stave off a Bobcat point, and it still come back to hurt them. 17-15, Sage Creek leads. Back to serve is Kay. Nice serve, dug out though. Set up for Connell. The blockers are into the net, and that's a Falcon point. It was Campbell Girdman Stepped up too far. 17-16. Gavin Ryder ready to serve. Float serve. Down the right side, it's controlled by Gerderman to Yates. Looks for Hayward, who goes off the block. It's back down on the Bobcat side. For a Falcons point, Truman Morley, the leader of the blockers there. 17-17 the score. He teamed up with Trevor Peck for that point. Gavin Ryder back to serve. The libero floats it up. Maintained by Hayward. Pushed over by Yates, and the kill is down by Porter. So Torrey Pines gets two back to knot us up at 17, and Sage Creek responds with a 1-2-3 punch of their own. They lead 18-17. Float serve by Gerderman. Controlled by Connell. Backdoor slide. Forces a free ball by Peck, and it's down off the block. Not sure what Justin Yates was doing. He just mistimed the block attempt. Couldn't get a clean hand on it. And we're tied at 18. Peck gets his third kill of the day. Truman Morley to serve. High jump serve. A fastball is dug out. Yates controls to Porter. His spike is dug out. Now a free ball over. Sanchez. Yates. Porter. Kill. 19-18, courtesy of Laird Porter. Bobcats lead by one here in set number 3. What a match. Porter with a float serve. Gravity gets the best of it, though, as it bounces off the net. 19-19 is where we stand. 1-1 in sets is where we sit. And back serving is Christian Connell. Floats it up. Gerdman with a bad touch. It's saved by Yates. And Laird Porter with an ambitious spike just sails it way out of play to give Torrey Pines the 2019 lead here. We appreciate, or we apologize for the audio technical difficulty, but we appreciate you sticking with us. So set number 3 is over. It was taken by Torrey Pines 28-26, courtesy of Matthew Lim. So a 2-1 lead here for Torrey Pines over Sage Creek. We'll step aside for a 2-minute break. Back for set number 4 in a moment. All right, ready to go. Set number 4. Remember, double elimination postseason in volleyball. So if one of these teams loses, they'll still be in it. They'll play the winner of the Cathedral Carlsbad match, which is later on tonight. Sage Creek trailing 2-1. They won set number 1, 25-20. They dropped sets number 2 and 3, 25-18 and 28-26. They went up 25. They were up 25 to 24. And then Torrey Pines was able to score a few straight. Ended up winning 28-26. Each and every broadcast brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Mission Fed Credit Union is proud to partner with the CIF San Diego section. They're not only San Diego's largest member-owned, non-for-profit, full-service financial institution, but they also exclusively serve the San Diego County. Banking at Mission Fed means doing good for San Diego by putting money back into the communities through supporting and helping hundreds of local nonprofit organizations. Thank you to Mission Fed for sponsoring each and every broadcast. All right, Torrey Pines, the Falcons up 2-1 over Sage Creek, the Bobcats here as we hit set number 4. Winner moves on to play for a chance in the championship. Loser will play the winner of Cathedral versus Carlsbad. Later on in the week. Only volleyball match on the broadcasting schedule this week. We have soccer championships at Mission Bay tomorrow and Eastlake on Saturday. All right, ready to go in set number 4, Truman Morley will kick things off for the Falcons. High jump serve, a lot of top spin. Taken by Laird Porter. To Gow, who bumps it up to Sanchez on the free ball, dug out by Ryder. Looking for Morley at Lim. His kill is dug out, goes off the net. Too many touches by Sage Creek, and that point goes to Torrey Pines. They strike first here in set number 4. So set number 1, Sage Creek scored first, and they scored first in set number 3. And set 2 was the Falcons, and set number 4 was the Falcons. So teams alternating the opening set point here. Jump serve by Truman Morley goes off the diving hands of Gerdeman and out of play for an ace. 2-0 Torrey Pines here early going set number 4. Torrey Pines the 2 seed, Sage Creek the 3 seed. Jump serve here for Morley. A line drive that sails well past the out of bounds line for an error. 2-1 now. Justin Yates, the senior, back to serve for Sage Creek. 3 dribbles, low arching toss as it's a float serve. But he floats it into the net for an error, 3-1. Torrey Pines. Christian Connell, who has been living out there at the server line today. Finds Ferroni on the dig to Yates, off to Gal, who goes off the block. Maintained by Ryder. High arcing set piece to Cater, who goes off the diving hand of Yates and out of play for a kill. Give Lucas Cater kill number 3 here. Only had 26 coming into the match in limited sets play, but he coming in big and big opportunities. 4-1 Torrey Pines. Jump serve to Ferroni. Looking at Gerdeman on the set by Yates, and the kill is through. Gotta find Gerdeman more if you're Sage Creek. 4-2 score. Campbell Gerdeman leads the team in kills, leads the team in aces and in digs. Multifaceted is the senior striker. Back to service, Sanchez. Ryder's there. Little tip set, and Lim just goes off the face of Yates and out of play for a kill. Talk about disrespect right there, Matthew Lim. 5-2. I mean, Yates literally needed a heads up right there. That was hit so quickly he couldn't get moved out, or couldn't move out of the way. And so a timeout, I believe, was called, or it's an official timeout. Oh, so it's a check to make sure that Yates is okay after getting hit in the head. And he is. 5-2 score. Torrey Pines leads here. They lead 2-1. We're in set 4. Gavin Ryder, senior libero, with the float serve. Porter with a heavy dig going back over, which sets up Pesagamo Hodden, the pure outside hitter, for his first kill here of the match, and his teammates greet him in jubilation. 6-2. Torrey Pines takes the lead. Laird Porter will take a seat. Jake Sanchez jogs back out there. Gavin Ryder, serve number 3 here of this opportunity. Ferroni on the dig. Yates on the backdoor slide. And Gerdeman able to find the back line for the kill. 6-3. Sage Creek finally gets one back here. And just like that, J.C. Hayward will come in with Jonah Kay. So Gow will now have to sit. And Jonah Kay. So once you cross that line on the sub, you have to come out. So there was an official substitution that was unintentional for Sage Creek. Gow crossed that substitution line unintentionally. Nice serve here. Front door set to Lim. And this one he spikes down to the knees of Justin Yates for a kill. This guy is unreal. I feel like I'm watching like a 2K volleyball match where they turn the sliders up on one guy and just let him go crazy. Somebody turned the sliders up on Matthew Lim before this match. He is playing on a different level on the offensive end. 7-3, Lucky Babcock back in the serve here for Torrey Pines. Float serve into the middle. Sanchez is there, the Yates. Backdoor slide, looking for Gerdeman off the block. Dug out and kept alive by the Falcons. Looking at Lim, going off the block, kept it alive by Ryder. A little tip up, Lim's free ball stays on the Torrey Pines side. And that was the third hit, so nobody could catch up to it. 7-4, Sage Creek finally gets one back here. I know it's only a 3-point Falcon lead, but they really have held the momentum here in set number 4. Trying to ice this thing out. Gerdeman back to serve. Ryder on the dig. Front door look to Lim. Dug out by Ferroni, and Yates with an ambitious pushover into the net. The defense was looking for a block, or for a set, so Yates tried to take advantage with the blockers off balance, but instead he finds the net for an error. 8-4, Torrey Pines leads. Lim to serve. Maintained by Sanchez to Yates, back to Sanchez. Kill attempt off the block. Morley with the front door. Looking for Connell, who goes off the block. Back to Ryder, who bumps it up. A free ball to Ferroni. And a nice setup from Yates to Hayward as he muscles it down. 8-5. Sage Creek gets one back. Torrey Pines up 8-5, up 2-1 here in the open division. It's Jake Sanchez who muscles one out on the serve, gets a service error. Brother of Ian Sanchez. 9-5, 13 for 4, they're telling me. So Cole Chandler comes in. Parseaga Mohadian will take a seat. Cole Chandler, the serving specialist here for Torrey Pines. Phenomenal at his job. The senior off the bench with a high jump serve, but he belts it into the net for a service error. 9-6. Back and forth we go, but as we've talked about for much of this match, with both sides, whenever a team goes down big, they're able to start trading points, but you can't trade points when you play down. How about this? Stephen Manwaring, a junior who played limited sets, does have 30 kills on the season, will get his first opportunity here today. Manwaring with a float serve to Ryder. Conley is there, punched over by Lim. Maintained by Gerdeman. Yates sets one up to Gao, who punches it down into no man's land for a kill. (9-7). Head coach Dave Savage to our left telling the town official he's going to stop complaining. He's complaining too much, but he's just passionate about the game. Justin K, check that. That's Stephen Manwaring into the net. So after he got one, he's commit the service error. 10-7 as he'll take a seat. Jake Sanchez will reappear. Truman Morley to serve for Torrey Pines, up by 3 here in set 4. High jump serve, punched out on the service error. And there it is, 10-8, finally within 2 for the Bobcats. And that'll bring up Justin Yates, float serve. Connell with the dig, set up to Morley, who finds Trevor Peck, who downs it for the kill. Give Peck number 4 now here on the evening. I guess it's still afternoon. Not used to these 3 o'clock starts. Float serve for Connell is dug out by Yates, setting up Gerdeman. His kill is dug out and goes high on a free ball, but it goes left of the antenna for Sage Creek point. 9-11 the score now. Sanchez will take a seat. That's Jake Sanchez. His brother Ian Sanchez back to serve. Laird Porter comes back in as the outside hitter for Sage Creek. Ian Sanchez, the junior, high arcing jump serve, dug out by Ryder, set by Morley. Cater looking for the kill, goes off the ceiling, maintained inbounds by Porter. Tipped over on the free ball by Gerdeman. Morley, backdoor, slide by Cutter, and the kill is through. I love these rallies that we see from these two sides here today. 12-9, Torrey back up by 3. Lost set number 1, 25-20, won set number 2, 25-18, and set number 3, 28-26, here up 12-9. And set number 4, trying to put Sage Creek away. And Gavin Ryder back to serve. Float serve into the middle. Sanchez, backdoor from Yates to Gerdeman, dug out by Ryder. What a dig. But he palmed it, and that's an error. Point Bobcats, 12-10. Sage Creek trails by 2 here in set number 4. And that'll bring up Ryan Gao, the junior middle blocker who's been so dynamic here today with the float serve. Connell to Morley, to Lim on the kill off the block. Cutter on the free ball, digs it out, sets one up to Lim, and he throws it down with invigoration for the kill. You could feel the energy. Just felt throughout this gymnasium. Lucky Babcock back to serve. Looking at the back left corner, Braden Ferroni thought it was out, but he was wrong, and that's an ace. So after a 12-10 Bobcat deficit, they now trail 14-10 after climbing their way back here in set number 4. Ferroni on the dig, sets up Yates, looking for Laird Porter, and his kill goes off the fingertips of Babcock and out of play, and Sage Creek does get one back there. Laird Porter has been present as an outside header, especially on the left side, for much here of the match. Gerdeman back to serve. Campbell Gerdeman. His serve goes to Ryder, pushed over on the free ball by Lim. Set up to Yates, who looks for Hayward. Off the block, back to the Bobcat side. It's a free ball to the Falcons. Set up for Lim. Off the block, it's down and inbounds for a Bobcat point. J.C. Hayward was there. Campbell Gerdman was there. And the duo teamed up for a big Bobcat point for 14-12 here in set number 4. And we have an out of position player on the serve by Torrey Pines. So we're trying to figure out after Torrey Pines calls the timeout. All right, so during the timeout, 14-12 is our score. And we'll step aside for a quick 30-second break. 14-12, Torrey Pines up over Sage Creek here. Back for more in set number 4 in a moment. All right, out of the timeout, the fans started cheering, "Let's go Torrey," trying to get their team some extra energy to will them the victory at 14-12 out of the timeout, up 2-1 here. Float serve by Gerdeman is dug out by Ryder, set up the Lim, whose kill attempt is dug out. Ferroni with the free ball. Lim with the tip, up over, dug out here by Hayward, but he touched it twice, and that is a Torrey Pines point on a miss. It wasn't even miscommunication, it was a missed opportunity for Sage Creek. Now down 15-12. Can't continue to trade points here. You have to mount a run like you did in that set number 1 when you won 25-20 if you're Sage Creek. Matthew Lim back to serve. Jump serve, floats it over. Dug out by Bergman. Set up by Yates. Porter throws it down off the block, and it's out of play for a Bobcat point. Porter doing everything he can to keep his team in it. The senior striding back, ready to serve. 87 kills. And actually, 148 kills on the season. Free ball on the serve. Porter's there. Backdoor from Yates goes over to Torrey Pines. Ryder with the set. Tipped over by Morley, but he can't keep it in play. And that makes it 15-14. Bobcats now 1 point away from tying this thing up in set number 4. It's 15-13, not 15-12, so 2 points away. No, it is 14. It should be 15-15, so they did miss. They missed the point, and so Sage Creek just got an ace when everybody was trying to figure out the scoring. So we're good. 15-15 is our score. Laird Porter with the ace here. And now an argument being had here on the sidelines with Torrey Pines' staff and both of our officials up here. Matthew Lim is at our head official trying to explain his side. I'm not exactly sure what the argument is, but all of Torrey Pines is arguing with all but one of our referees, and that's because the line judge is all the way at the other end of the court. And so now they're going to force a conversation between two officials here, our two main officials up at the net. It's 15-15 here in set number 4. Torrey Pines leads 2-1. They lost set number 1, 25-20. They took sets number 2 and 3, 25-18 and 28-26. It's been a back and forth affair here in set number 4. The Falcons have maintained the lead for all but a point, and that came at 2-1 Sage Creek. Sage Creek trailed by 3, and then they scored 3 straight. And now Laird Porter over to the side is just looking at his bench saying, all they're doing is icing me. And now the conversation is finally to be had. They are officially awarding the point to Torrey Pines. And David Savage is just like, what's going on here? I just want to keep playing this match. And then the side official comes over and he says, I don't even care. I don't want to hear it. So, and now Torrey Pines is still arguing. I think it was a rotation error with Matthew Lynn and Gavin Ryder. And now the officials are saying it's enough. You're either going to get a warning, a yellow card, or we're playing, and we're playing. Laird Porter is there. Ryder on the dig. It's 15-15 in set number 4. Morley able to get it off the block and through for a kill. 16-15. Torrey Pines decides to let their play do the talking on that one. 16-15. Falcons up, looking to move on here in the open division. The loser will play the winner of the Cathedral versus Carlsbad volleyball match played tonight in the loser pool. And into the net goes Cole Chandler. And the service error brings us back knotted up at 16 apiece. Steven Manwaring will come back in, take the place of J.C. Hayward. Manwaring getting his second opportunity here today to serve in set number 4. Float serve into the middle. Lim. To Morley, who sets it up to Trevor Peck for a kill. 5 kills now for Peck on the day. He only had 55 coming into the match, and he has made his presence felt throughout. 17-16. Torrey Pines leads up 2-1. There's a basketball game later, the season finale on senior night, so the gym is continuing to pack in for that. Yates sets one up for Gow, who goes off the block. It comes back down the Torrey Pines point. They lead 18-16. Timeout taken by the Bobcats. They trail by 2 here. They trail 2-1. And the fans getting into it. All right, out of the timeout, 18-16. Torrey Pines up by 2. Sage Creek just used the first of their 2 here in set number 4. Trying to force a decisive 5th set here in the Open Division semifinal. Back to serve, Truman Morley for the Torrey Pines Falcons. Nice serve, finds Ian Sanchez, but Sanchez can't get a handle on it. It's a heavy bump out of play, and that's an ace. 19-16, Torrey Pines with a little 3-0 run. We were tied at 16 apiece. I put this match away. Morley ready to go again, the senior. With a nice topspin jump serve into the middle. Ferroni digs it out to Yates. Yates, front door slide. The kill is through by Sanchez. It goes off of Ryder and out of play. And after a 3-0 Torrey Pines run, the Bobcats get one back. 19-17 here in set number 4. Back to serve goes Justin Yates. Mr. Do Everything has been a phenomenal setter here today, though. Ryder digs it out. Morley on the back door. Coming through his Connell, dug out by Yates. High bump here to Porter. Free ball goes over. Matthew Lim to Morley. Back to Lim. And the kill is too heavy. It goes out of play. 19-18 now. The Bobcats string together 2 points. They trail by 1 here in set number 4. Justin Yates now trying to bring his team back to tie things up at 19. Ryder with the dig. Morley with the front door. Yates' quick kill attempt, though, was dug out by Ferroni. The front door set to Sanchez, who's able to bury it in no man's land, and we are knotted up at 19. Three straight here for the Bobcats, and the Torrey Pine fans trying to re-inject the energy into their Falcons squad. Float serve here by Yates. Connell with the dig, and Lim with the kill. He's so good. He is so good, folks. 2019. After three straight Bobcat points, Torrey gets one back. Christian Connell back to serve. And he's into the net. We're knotted up at 20. Ian Sanchez, high jump serve. Gavin Ryder's there with the dig, setting up Lim. He goes off the body of Ferroni, keeping it in play. Yates, Berdeman, and it's down. 21-20, the first lead here in set number 4 for Sage Creek. They're up trailing 2-1. They're trying to force a decisive 5th set after dropping 2 straight sets after taking set number 1. Sanchez serves it up to Ryder. A quick setup, and Peck powers it down. 21-21 after the kill by Trevor Peck. And he quickly hops back off. Ryder back there to serve now. Float serve into the middle. Ferroni to Yates, looking for Porter. Off the block and down on the hardwood. 22-21 Bobcats. Bobcats trying to force a 5th set here in the semifinal. Top 5 national matchup. Back on the serve was Gao. A miscommunication between Lim and Parsa Agan Mohidian force an ace, and it's 23-21 timeout Falcons. And we'll step aside for a quick break here in set number 4. Falcons trailed by 2. Bobcats to serve when we return here in a moment. All right, out of the timeout, 23-21. Sage Creek up by 2. They were down by as many as 4 here. They're down 19-16. They went on a 3-0 run. Since then, they've been on a 7-2 run to mount this 2-point lead here in set number 4. Gao out of the timeout, backspin into the net on the float serve. And Torrey able to get one back on the service error by Ryan Gao. 23-22. Torrey Pines trying to ice this thing up in set number 4. Bobcats trying to force a decisive 5th set. Lucky Babcock with a float serve. Under it is Ferroni to Yates. The set to Porter. And the block is into the net for a Bobcat point. Set point here, 24-22 for Sage Creek. Back goes Campbell Gerdeman to serve. Gerdeman, power serve, off to Ryder. Front door, look for Lim, and it's down with the kill. 24-23, Matthew Lim keeps Torrey Pines alive here in set number 4. Things are getting sweaty here inside the Falcon cage. Matthew Lim on the float serve. Gerdman to Yates, looking for Porter. Off the block, back to the Bobcats. Porter off the block again and down for a Falcon point. It's Parsa Agan Mohidian. with the block. Point 24-24. Bobcats calling their final timeout of the match, or of the set rather. Here in set number 4, we'll step aside. All right, here we go. 24-24, set number 4. Loser takes on the winner of the Cathedral versus Carlsbad match tonight. They don't play tonight. That match happens tonight. The loser, that's the loser. The winner moves on to this next semifinal match. Float serve out of the timeout by Lim. Set up for Laird Porter, and his kill is touching the back line and down. Keeping it in, Laird Porter, 25-24, set point here for Sage Creek. Torrey Pines trying to take these last 3 points. It won't be easy. Float serve by Porter, finds Ryder. Looking at Morley, finds Lim, his kill is down. 25-25. Remember, set 3, it was a 28-26 Torrey Pines victory. And here it's 25-25. Cole Chandler comes in back to serve. The Torrey Pines girls basketball team is in the building watching the finale. Coleman, heavy serve. Ferroni is there. Backdoor by Sanchez. JC Hayward with the free ball. Lim goes off the block, it's down. And Sage Creek gets the 26-point here of set number 4. 26-25. Set point here for Sage Creek, trailing 2-1, trying to force a decisive 5th set. Man warring. Dug out by Lim, the pushover by Morley into no man's land. 26-26. And everybody on the edge of their seats. Truman Morley back to serve. Subs coming in quickly. It's Luca Cater coming in, adding a little bit of height up front. 26-26, set number 4. Torrey Pines trying to ice this thing out. Sage Creek trying to stay alive here. And force a 5th set. JC Hayward will come back in. So does Gerdeman. Back to serve, Truman Morley. Jump serve for Morley. Into the middle, dug out by Sanchez. Yates is there. Gal with the flip over. Ryder on the dig. Setting it back to Connell, who pushes it over on the free ball. Yates, the slide. Sanchez looking for the kill. Lim digs it. Gets it back.